excellent student. He passed out from St. Anthony's High School in 1975 and stood 27th all Goa. That is the only story which we can hear from St. Anthony's. He was an excellent student, did excellent in his studies, but not only that. As he was a student, every morning he would help his parents to water the plants in his field and always be punctual to the school, to the classes. Every year, Majorda had instituted an award for any farmer who produced biggest and heavy watermelon, and he always grabbed that prize. He took that award year after year. When he joined in Chobe College in science, he did his 11th and 12th in science. He was telling me that in the morning he could not go to the fields because he had to rush to college. But always in the evenings he would assist the parents in watering the plants because that was the source of income for them. After that, he passed with distinction 12th and joined his mechanical engineering through Farmagudi College of Engineering. Further, he graduated in material management in the Indian Institute of Management, New Delhi. And then he joined Murmugam Port Trust as a junior engineer and later as a senior deputy material engineer, equivalent to supervisory engineer. He took voluntary retirement because he was disappointed to see the fields were barren, not being cultivated. So he said, if I delay to start, it will be a problem. It may go still further aggravate the problem. So he took voluntary retirement and started farming. I must tell something about him. I don't know how many of you have heard about cowpeas. It's a pulse. In Konkani we call them osande. This cowpeas was brought from Africa by a family, Morais family from Utorda. They were thrown out from Uganda and they carried few seeds of this cowpeas and they started cultivating in the garden. When he and his father saw those pulses and they saw that they were growing well, he requested them to give some seeds. And then they started cultivating those seeds in their fields. It grew in abundance. They started sharing these seeds with his fellow friends, neighbors, requesting them to cultivate. Today, in Majorda and neighboring villages, these cowpea seeds have become a cash crop. Farmers are earning nothing less than between 150 to 200 rupees per kilo. The initiative, a small initiative taken by Vincent, today it has multiplied and in many farmers are deriving benefit of this. I think this act of his, it needs a big round of applause. He always wants to do something new, introduce something new in our village. Something new constantly. He noticed that bottle goats, Kokondudis, were not growing well, original ones were not growing well. He did studies. And then he took responsibility to develop the original variety, local bottle goats, and the moment they started growing well, the fruits, that is the vegetables, the seeds he started giving to the neighbors. Even I was the beneficiary. Even I started growing bottle goats in my garden. So it's an initiative taken by him. He went to Samurte. He heard that there are Dargal tribes, community, who grows the ladyfingers on the hillside. Huge ladyfingers. It's 8 inches long. He went to them, requested for the seeds, and he brought it and started cultivating in Majorga and distributing to the others. He promised me that he would give me that also to me. Not only that, he had gone to Kerala. He visited Kerala University, and there he saw lentils, erbil, what we call it. They are 2 feet long. He brought those seeds and started cultivating in the village. That also he has promised me they would give me next year. So you can see so much goodness from him, which has expanded to the others, and others are benefiting the benefits of it. For this, the foundation wants to recognize him. It's not the academic achievement. It is not the honor that he brought to us as teachers, but for this service that he is doing, especially in farming, which is very dear to me. And so, for this purpose, the foundation wants to honor him. Ladies and gentlemen, let us give him a big round.
His Grace Archbishop Frederick of Goa and Daman, the Chairman of Ave Maria Foundation, the dignitaries on the days, and my dear brothers and sisters. I am humbled to be felicitated at the hands of His Grace, the Archbishop. I thank you, Father. I thank Sir Oscar Gonsalves, Chairman of Ave Maria Foundation, for selecting and honoring me in this felicitation today. In fact, Sir Oscar Gonsalves and his sister Immaculada Gonsalves have been my teachers in the school, and Sir Oscar and teacher Immaculada have been motivating me since 1975. As you know, India is basically an agriculture country, and as on today, in India as well as in Goa, agriculture has been declining and the land has been left fallow. It is our responsibility to protect our beautiful Goa. We are the custodians of our next generation. So it is our moral responsibility to conserve, preserve, develop and utilize the land, keeping in mind its requirement for our next generation. So my message is, importance and recognition should be given by society to young people who are working in farms. Dignity of labor should be respected. The concerned authorities should introduce at least one subject of agriculture in the school curriculum. We learn about all other subjects except agriculture. Agriculture involves not only farming on land, it includes fisheries, it includes dairy, and also mobilizing farmers into cooperatives or farmers clubs. In Goa, you all know that land holdings are very small and fragmented. They are not suitable for commercial farming. So it is very important that farmers cooperatives should be developed. After interacting with government officials and farmers, I have concluded that farmers do not get remunerative price for their produce in Goa. So there is a need from the government to develop storage facilities, proper preservation facilities, and value addition of farm produce. If you see in this fruit season, in talukas of Kanakona, Kepe, even Salse, Bisholim, Satari, lot of jackfruit is wasted. It is only because there are no processing or preservation facilities. But in Kerala, if you see, these facilities are very much developed and they derive and add lot of value to the farm produce. My suggestion is village markets could be developed in Goa so that farmers could sell their produce in the villages after Sunday Mass, etc. This is only my suggestion, so that the farmers could get good remunerative price for their produce. It is only then we will make Goa a more beautiful place to live in. Thank you.
President Perron, Chairman, Hospital Service, dignitaries of the days, dignitaries of the days, parents, teachers, and some of my colleagues who are here, who sent me down memory lane. A nostalgic moment for me as I've seen some of my colleagues from the Sharada Mandir school where I was the administrator, and I think now the chair is now been taken over by none other than Oscar. You never know Oscar. It is my honor and privilege to be here today and to be honored with this Joy of Giving Foundation, because they rightly said it is in giving that we receive. Yes, I stand here today. I have achieved what I have done. Like Machiavelli said, I did it my way. Frank Sinatra, yes, I did most of the things my way. It wasn't a very easy task, it was an uphill task. And throughout my life, I think I have not one but 3 women who stood by me, who I could count. The very first was my mother, who was a mother and a father to me. I lost my dad when I was 4. She brought me up, then brought us up. We are a family of 4, 3 brothers and sister. She educated us, she did her very best. She went beyond her ability and still managed it perfectly well. The second is my wife who is here, who has stood by me in times of trouble, in times of distress. Your Grace, she lived perfectly by the wedding vows. And the third, of course, is none other than our Blessed Virgin Mary, Mother Mary, without whose help I would not be here today. On this day of International Women's Day, I salute all these 3 women who really helped me to be what I am today. Yes, I had been through a lot of trials and tribulations. It was ups and downs for me. I've seen both sides of life. My experience is varied, and to share it with you, it will go in days, in volumes. But anyway, I take this opportunity to thank Mr. Oscar Gonsalves for having honored me here today in the presence of none other than His Grace, the Archbishop of Goa, Ramanand Dev, and the presence of all the other dignitaries. My sincere thanks to Oscar and all of you. Thank you so much.
Respected dignitaries on the dais, this is a very, very big day for me, purely because the thoughts that Oscar ji echoes and what all the Joy of Giving Foundation stands for are exactly the same values that I grew up with. To quote Sigmund Freud, who is one of my favorite authors to go to, that man is a product of nurture and nature. Nurture being the hand that rocks the cradle, rules the world. I've been blessed by parents who have allowed me to do whatever I wanted, pursue freely and fearlessly the dreams that I have wanted to do, and I stand here purely because of the greatness of my father, who in his absence is present today. There is one chair there that's vacant. He is with me, and my mother, who has been my backbone and absolutely keeps egging me on. So whenever I come with certain feats that I think are really great, she says, yeah, but I think there's still a long way to go. So I think that that kind of inspiration, that kind of push, that kind of affection is what drives me to be where I am today. You see, some years ago, I'm not going to take too much time, I don't like giving speeches, neither do I have been prepared, but I will speak from my heart. So some years ago, when me and my brother used to visit, you see, we have been, I think, blessed with some different genes, you know, pretty tall. My brother's even taller, about 6 feet 3 inches. So people used to always ask my father, he said that, what do you feed your children with? You know, how have they grown to be this size? So he mentioned to them one thing which I would like to mention to most parents who are here today. He used to tell them that I'm feeding them with love. And I think that that was absolutely a bullseye kind of a description, because that love and the strength and power of that love is the reason why we are here today. And I think if every parent here, all the teachers who are present, if you can only feed this world with love, it will be a beautiful and better place to live in. There were 3 principles that my father always told me, and I grew up emulating those principles purely because I saw him practicing them in his day-to-day life. Those are the same principles that I saw echoing very, very sharply among the 2 people that I first interacted with in Goa. Absolutely no concern with my family. I happened to meet them. One was Mr. Macvas, who is here, the unsung hero of Goa. And you have Oscar ji, who is the most wonderful human being that I have met. He is always so full of energy, so very encouraging. You should see the kind of patience that he has, the academic genius of, he's ageless. So every time that I talk about him, I always ask, I say, how many years, Oscar ji? And he says, 45. And I say, no, I can't believe it. So, you know, the energy just comes, so you learn from these people. And my father told me 3 very important governing principles, which I think I should share with all of you present here today. One is that the good that you do, don't ever speak about it, because it will be spoken of. People will speak, it will be heard, and it will come back to you. The second and the most important thing was that keep giving, because the more that you give, the more you receive, right? And you may not, the last corollary to that was that you may not receive from the people who you have given to, but you may receive through blessings, through gratitude, through kindness, and through love, because this universe sings one universal song, and that song is of love. Thank you very much.